Do you remember those old SpongeBob episodes which some of us used to watch in 1999 from season 1? Well, recently a secret episode has been discovered from that time period. The other day, I was searching through my computer when I came across a notepad document deep within System 32. Having no idea how it got there, I scanned it for viruses. It had one Trojan in it. I deleted it and opened it up. All that was printed was one website link, followed by the following gibberish: AKLADSJAO4F. Having not a single clue what it meant, I continue by putting a site link, which I won't tell you in case anyone out there is freaking stupid enough to try it, into my web browser. It took me to a site where there was black background and a huge button. It had the same text on it that was in the notepad document. I clicked it and it brought up a download link. The file I wanted to be downloaded was called spongecry.avi. As crazy as I am, I went ahead and downloaded it. Big mistake. The second the downloaded finished, which was 4.6 megabytes, my computer made the weirdest sound ever and turned off. As I tried to reboot it, nothing happened. The file must have destroyed my computer. As upset as I am, I realized that I was on my old PC. I hopped over on my Mac and re-downloaded it. This time, there was no problem. What was downloaded was the single.avi file. I played it. The movie clip was 6 minutes and 4 seconds long. It started out as any SpongeBob episode would, except the color was distorted. And when he got to playing with the flute with his nose, it immediately went to the title screen. All that was on the title screen was the following words: spongecry.avi, SpongeBob cry. Only there wasn't any jaunty music like there usually was. It lasted about 2.5 seconds. It didn't show who the writers or directors were. I just assumed that whoever put it online had to edit it for some time or something. The episode started inside SpongeBob's house. It showed SpongeBob sitting in his red chair. The strange thing was all of the other furniture was gone. SpongeBob was crying very hard, but it didn't sound anything like it does when SpongeBob normally cries. It sounded like real human cry, but it was still different. It sounded so real and intense. SpongeBob was absolutely bawling. He was ripping chunks out of the chair. Then the camera zoomed really close in his face. But it is the kind of zoom as if it was videotaped by a real person. Then the camera zoomed out to show a rotting corpse of Gary laying on the floor in front of him. It was very disturbing. Gary was absolutely mauled to death. His eyes were laying on the floor. His shell was cracked to reveal a gross image of the inside of Gary, which looked a whole lot more like what would really happen if Gary in the episode where Gary loses his shell. The camera was moving around like crazy. SpongeBob suddenly got out of his chair and ran straight forward. Then the episode stopped moving for about 1 second. Then it goes to black for 2 seconds. Then it comes back with SpongeBob's face pressed against the camera, with his mouth exploded open and eyes black. And a definitely loud scream. I jolted up and turned my volume down. And then the camera starts moving it around like it was at an earthquake. You can't even tell what was going on. It was worse than anything I've ever seen. The clip goes back to for 1 minute and 38 seconds. It comes back inside the Krusty Krab. It was dead silent. All of a sudden, the same face that was pressed against the camera appeared. But this time, the scream was literally definitely loud. But it only lasted for about a fourth of a second. Then for the rest of the episode, it goes back to SpongeBob crying in the chair. But after every 10 seconds, SpongeBob just gets a little bit more decayed, and the sound gets a little more distorted. By the end, all there is left is static and screaming. Then you can see SpongeBob running again in the background of the static. But for the last 4 seconds, there is text on the screen that reads, "One time as sunshine will be badly. One time action will be badly." Exactly that, as if it was written by a 5-year-old. After the clip finished, my computer turned off by an unknown force. After seeing this video, I have never been the same. I have been more sad and more uncomfortable than ever before. It has haunted my mind all the time. I regret downloading the video in the first place. I wish I could go back into AKLADSJAOAO4F.